Now is Ambassador John Bolton, former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations and Fox News contributor. Ambassador Bolton, first of all, I know you don't have any insight on this, but perhaps just your thoughts. Could it have been possible that we were part of the reason why that missile launch failed in North Korea?
Well, it's possible. I mean, I don't think the North Korean missile test apparatus is linked into the World Wide Web. If there was an effort at cyber sabotage, it would have come from something that we've got, or the South Koreans have inside North Korea. Rockets can fail on their own, too. Who knows at this point? Well,
the key is, and the thing that I think most people were concerned about over the weekend, was whether or not they'd have another nuclear test. They didn't. That might or might not have been because of pressure from China. But if they do over the next couple of days, how should we respond?
Well, look, we have it from the commander of U.S. Forces South Korea, from the commander of the Strategic Command, from all kinds of sources, that North Korea is very close to the point where they can miniaturize a nuclear device, put it on an intercontinental ballistic missile, and hit targets in the United States. That is the point of danger for us that 8 years of watching Obama do nothing have brought us to. So that's why this is so serious now. That's why each new test, ballistic missile or nuclear, is so serious, and why the pressure that President Trump's applying to China is also so significant.
And that's why you're hearing such a different tone from a U.S. administration about North Korea. It's not that we've been chummy with them over the years, but we've been much nicer to them, if you will, than what Vice President Pence is now saying in South Korea. Let's just play a little soundbite of that and get your impression.
Over the past 18 months, North Korea has conducted 2 unlawful nuclear tests and an unprecedented number of ballistic missile tests, even conducting a failed missile launch as I traveled here for this visit. The era of strategic patience is over.
Now, Ambassador, that era of strategic patience, a fancy phrase that he uses, that goes back not only through Obama, but one could say all through a Republican administration and before that to the Clinton era, right?
Yeah, look, the United States has tried for 25-plus years diplomatically to talk North Korea out of its nuclear weapons program. We've tried coercion through economic sanctions. It's all failed. And it's all failed because North Korea is never voluntarily going to give up its nuclear weapons program. It is their ace in the hole. It is their insurance policy. So I think as time has gone on, their nuclear devices have gotten more sophisticated. Their ballistic missiles have a longer range and better guidance systems. The threat gets more and more acute. And that's why we are today in a very, very tough situation with few good options.
Well, meanwhile, a little closer to home, Turkey's president narrowly winning a controversial referendum over the weekend that will greatly expand his power. Now, Ambassador, Erdogan, the prime minister of Turkey, has been a lot too chummy for my wishes with the radical extremists. Some people even suggest that he was friendly to the founders of ISIS when Baghdadi left Iraq. Some people say he gave him sanctuary in Turkey, and then he turned back and went back to Iraq. How do you deal with this, the fact that this guy is going to be with us for a long time, according to this referendum?
Look, it's a very serious problem for NATO. We had relied on Turkey through the Cold War as the eastern anchor. He's also gotten friendly with Putin. That's disturbed us. And the opponents of this referendum and the power that it's given to Erdogan dispute the legitimacy of the outcome. I think it's worth remembering that back when he was mayor of Istanbul, Erdogan once said, "Democracy is like a streetcar. You ride it to the stop you want, and then you get off." And I think in Turkey today, he's getting off, and that's a big problem for us.
Ambassador John Bolton, great to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you, David.